The now night sky of Japan glimmered with stars as a small vehicle entered the small city. The streets empty, the street lamps shining yellow, and the hospital in the distance flashing a few red lights repeatedly fading in and out. The vehicle pulled into a large parking garage next to the hospital. Asagiri opened the door, however, and burly hand grabbed her forearm. Oi! You can't just leave me in here without any explanation. Yusuke said, eyeing Asagiri. Asagiri pulled her arm away. Relax. This is Jaku City, and we're at Jaku General Hospital. Believe it or not, one of the Liberation's largest members and benefactors works in this hospital. He's who I technically work under. I'm not a pretend doctor, I still have a main workplace and all. Now stay here and keep watch. Asagiri said as she fully exited the car. Yusuke shrugged as he leaned the seat back further, preparing to take a nap. Asagiri rolled her eyes as she turned and entered the hospital. The sliding doors opened, sensing Asagiri's presence as she went towards the front counter of the empty lobby, where a young secretary sat, dozing away late into the night. Wake up, I need to know something, Asagiri said sweetly but loudly. The girl jerked up, blinked a few times and yawned. Dr. Asagiri, you're back earlier than expected. Or technically later. How can I help you? The front desk lady asked tiredly, trying her best not to fall asleep mid-conversation. I need to speak with Dr. Garaki. Is he still in? Knowing him he is. Asagiri said with a smile. The lady glanced at her computer and nodded with another yawn, tears forming in her eyes. Asagiri smiled as she walked toward the elevator. She hit the up button and entered the open elevator, hitting the second floor. This was it, her questions would get answered, she thought as she walked towards the office. She stood in front of the office door, the plaque next to the door on the wall reading, Dr. Kaidai Garaki. She took a deep breath and knocked. Come in. A voice called out from behind the door. Asagiri opened the door to reveal nothing inside but an empty desk and a left-on computer screen. Ah, Dr. Asagiri, please, close the door behind you. The voice, seemingly coming from nowhere, said. Asagiri pushed the door closed, returning to face the desk and bowed. Good evening, Dr. Garaki. It is a pleasure to speak with you again. Once again speaking from the computer, I see. As usual, you know my quirk life force limits mobility, so I have to communicate this way. Tell me, Asagiri, why have you come here tonight? I don't see you have Izuku Midoriya, Hima Oshagiri, or Nito Monoma. Tell me, what is on your mind? The voice from the computer asked. Asagiri looked up. Doctor, I have Hima Oshagiri in what could be considered self-captivity. And in regards to Izuku Midoriya, I have an idea of where he might be. Asagiri lied. She knew exactly where he was. And Nito Monoma is currently still located at Uahi as a student that chose to remain in the dorms from the intel I've gathered from being a simple researcher at the facility they are keeping Kurogiri. They believe I am uncovering secrets about him. Little do they know I already have him prepped for what's to come. I have even relocated the little girl Eri. Good. How are preparations with Oshagiri? Dr. Garaki asked. Asagiri smiled. We're making a spike of progress. Funds from the liberation that have started coming in have greatly improved. Her mind powers have grown exponentially, and slight changes can be altered to what she sees. Well, that is quite wonderful indeed. Garaki said. Yes, they will make wonderful additions to our children. My children, Asagiri. Garaki said. Do not forget, you are merely a researcher in a place of true creation. I am the one that handles the creation aspect of it. Asagiri looked down with slight irritation. Yes, doctor. However much I would love to turn those four into children, there is a much greater purpose at hand. Bring them to me alive. All of them. Doctor, what is the plan? Asagiri said, looking up from her bow once again. If they are not for making nomus and recreating this world, what are they for? Why let Shigaraki know and not I, who has been loyal to you for far longer? You are the master of this world. Why not choose me? And that precisely is why, Asagiri. Garaki said he smoothly. Asagiri raised an eyebrow. You believe I am the one in charge? Garaki laughed violently. My dear, Asagiri, there is a much bigger power at play. You have been a loyal servant to me, yes. And because of that, I will let you in on a little secret. You are merely a servant to a servant. Asagiri raised up from her bow with confusion. Doctor, if you are not in charge, then who is? Do not tell me it's that Shigaraki. Garaki laughed once again. My dear girl, I am merely guiding him. He is the chosen one, yes. Not you, not I, but he has been chosen by truth, chosen by freedom, chosen by fear and hatred, for nothing but his hatred for this current world alone. He and I, we are the first few steps towards freedom. Asagiri took a step forward. A life of freedom, freedom to experiment it as she pleased. Dr. Garaki was only the first step. Then who? His name, as all for one. Asagiri's eyes grew wide, a large grin grew on her face. All for one. The villain that went toe to toe with All Might. The man responsible for the number one's retirement. These were the answers she had been looking for. So Shigaraki wasn't the one to follow, nor was he turning into someone to follow. No, the true meaning of freedom came within this man. All for one. Izuku Midoriya, Shigaraki Tamura, Nito Monoma, Hima Oshagiri, Uesagiri, myself and a few others are all just game pieces for the man above all. The doctor screamed from his computer hysterically. This world will fall, and all for one, however he means, will take the reins of this world and guide us to truth of destruction and creation. Even I don't know what his full plan is. I am simply following orders. I suggest you do the same, for you won't be answering to me if it screws up. Asagiri stood for a moment, the smile large on her face. If I continue following, will the man known as All for One be able to grant my wish of experimental freedom? She asked. My dear Asagiri, I couldn't tell you if I am honest. I've granted you the freedom you have now through multiple means as a way of getting what I need from you. Garaki said through brutal honesty. However, this world will be coming to an end, where the strong raise and the intelligent plan, and the earnest lead. I suggest you do what you can to get on All for One's good side and make a name for yourself. For those who please him will be given much power and free will. If I am not a quality example, however, I will allow you to make the choice for yourself. Though that grin on your face tells me exactly what you plan to do, I wouldn't have told you. If I knew you wouldn't make the useful choice. The computer turned off and Asagiri quickly turned on her heels, heading out the door. This beating heart, this blood pumping through her veins, the excitement in her eyes. She didn't get what she came here for, but got something far greater. Garaki gave her a push through the door to human experimentation, and guided her under the promise that one day, they would be given what they wanted. However, every plan Garaki made with Shigaraki, they all ended in failure to the heroes. However, if Garaki was not the true villain, and that man, all for one was, that changed things. That man was power, force, and will. This wasn't just for interest in experimentation anymore. This was for survival and ranks, and Asagiri wasn't a woman of just survival. She was a woman of glory and research. Screw knowing the entire plan. She would make the plan her own. She would be the one that all for one would consider worthy to allow freedom. Asasgiri rushed out the hospital and quickly entered the car, startling Yusuke out of his deep slumber. Quote. What the hell was that for? He yelled. However, the bloodshot look and smile in Asagiri's eyes silenced him. We make our move, soon.